Right, so we're going to import some stuff here. So I'm just going to go to import, and you're looking at activity 521, and we're bringing in, let's do them one at a time. So we've got a JPEG here. I'm going to bring that in, and then I've got a Photoshop file. I'm going to make sure it's on footage. Don't check create composition, and open, leave it on merged layers, and OK. So we're going to make a new composition, and we'll just call it Winding Road, and we'll leave it HDTV 1080-25 and 10 seconds duration, and OK. And we're going to take that pixels image and put it down here, and I don't want to actually fit it. I think this is about the right zoom level, so I'm just going to position it so that the S bend is central. And then I'm going to lock that layer. Then I'm going to take the car and put it above that. It's a little bit big, so S to scale, and we're going to scale it down, I guess, to about 45%. Okay, so we've got a car and a winding road, so I think you know where we're going here. So what we're going to do is, instead of actually trying to keyframe ourselves, the car going along the road, we're going to actually use something called motion sketching, which is found under Window, Motion Sketch. So if you choose that, you'll get this little window that opens up, or little panel that opens up in the bottom right hand corner. And there's a few things that you can control here, but the main thing is to make sure that background is checked, so that when you are recording your motion, you can see the background. So now we're going to select that car layer, and what we're going to do is when I press start capture, it's then queued and ready to go. As soon as I click and hold with my mouse and start to draw the path, it records my motion over time. So you have to make sure that you draw the path, starting at this bottom part of the road, draw the path along and out the other side. You must draw it within 10 seconds. It doesn't have to be exactly 10 seconds. It can be less than 10 seconds, but it mustn't be more than 10 seconds. If you don't manage to do that, just undo, Control or Command Z, and try again. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So press Start Capture, and you only have to worry once you start drawing, because then it's actually recording over time. So I'm going to position my cursor here, and as soon as I click and hold and start drawing, you'll see that my timeline starts playing to record that over time. Okay, and then just release when you get to the end. So what we want to do is we want to make this animation last exactly 10 seconds. So select that car layer, press P for position, and you'll see there are all the keyframes that have been created. So click on the word position, and it selects all those keyframes. Then hold down Alt on Windows, Option on the Mac, and drag the last keyframe out. Hold Shift so it snaps to 10 seconds. So that's how you can get keyframes to rove over time. So they maintain a proportional relationship with each other, but you can stretch them out over time. So now we've got our motion, but it's far too many keyframes. For just a simple S bend, this is going to be a very jerky animation. So if I just click away and I drag with the car, it's far too jerky. So what we're going to do is click on position, and then we're going to go to Window, Smoother. And I'm going to set it's automatically set to spatial path. I'm going to set the tolerance to 15 and then press apply. And what it does is it simplifies the path, and it creates curve handles for me to control. So I'm going to go in with my selection tool, just going to click away, and then I'm just going to click on my first keyframe here, and now I'm going to go in and just adjust this path so that it's got a better shape. So you're just taking these points and positioning them, adjusting the direction handles to get a better result. So I want the car not to go off the road there, so I'll just bend that in. Again here, it's a little bit of a hard corner that, so move that. Then I'm just going to notice the way the dotted line, which represents my motion path, stops over here. That's simply because my playhead is too far back. So if I take my playhead forward, I'll see the rest of that path. So this point here, just going to straighten that out. And I think that's a fair path. Okay, don't spend too much time on it. Also, that needs to be a bit smoother. Alright, so the thing here is that my car is going along the road, but it's skidding sideways, which is not what I want. So we could rotate the car and then animate the rotation over time, which would be a bit of a pain. But there's another trick. If you right click on that layer, go to Transform, Auto Orient, Orient Along Path, and then OK. So if I have a look at it now, you'll see that my car is oriented along the path, and if I play this, the car is actually going along the road. Obviously it's just busy rendering, so it's going very slowly. And let's just let it play back in real time now. Okay, so that's all good and well. The only problem with this is if this car is going really fast, let's just assume it is, we're going to get the car sliding out on the sharp corners because it's going too fast. Now I cannot do that if I use Auto Orient, because Auto Orient is almost like putting it on a train track. It cannot rotate left or right on that track. So it limits my complexity in terms of animation. So what we're rather going to do is we're going to use a null object for the path and parent the car to the null object so that the car is free then to rotate. So we're going to right click down here, New, Null Object. I'll select it and press Enter, and I'm just going to call it Car Controller. And then I'm going to take the car, press P, click on Position, so that I've got all the keyframes selected there, put my playhead at 0, and I'm going to cut, so Command or Control X to cut those keyframes. Then I'm going to go to Car Controller, press P, select Position, and Command or Control V to paste. So I've taken the motion from the car layer and I've transferred it to the null object. So you can see now the null object is moving along that path, but now the null object is not auto-orienting itself. So I need to make sure that I remove auto-orient from the car layer. So right click, transform, auto-orient off, and for the null layer, right click, transform, auto-orient, orient along path. So now you can see that that null object is actually oriented along the path, which is exactly what I want. So now I'm going to parent the car to the car controller using the parent pick whip. Okay, let's see what that's done. Okay, so now the car's back to going sideways, so we can just rotate it to a starting position, so R. And I'm going to zoom in here because I want to just show you something else that you have to do. So we're going to rotate the car so that it's oriented in the right direction. But also, if the car is going to slide out, we don't want it to be sliding out from the center point where the gear shift is. We want it to be sliding out from between the front wheels. So press A for anchor point and adjust the X value of your anchor point so that it is in the middle of the hood between the two front wheels. So that, if I press R, that is the point around which the car is going to slide. Okay, so the car is oriented in the right direction. We're going to go back to, just excuse these dogs barking, it's my next door neighbor's hounds. And we're going to slide the car around now. So now it's following the null object because it's parented. I'm just going to close my windows. But what but what we really want is we want it to slide out so it looks more realistic. So with rotation, keyframe, so we're going to put the stopwatch on for rotation. We want to just produce some sliding. So at this point, I want the rotation to be held in place. So I'm going to add another keyframe by clicking on the keyframe shuttle here. So I'm holding the rotation fixed between the first keyframe and the second keyframe. Then round about sort of 3/4 around the corner, I'm going to slide the car out. Okay, then further on, about here, I'm going to slide it the other way, like that. And round the corner, it's going to go, this is a really bad driver, he's going to go a little bit off the road there. And then he's going to correct it and come the other way, like that. And then right at the end, it's going to be straightened out. Okay, so let's go back and play this. Okay, so some of the motion's a little bit jerky. That was my hand movements. Okay, let's just let it play through properly. Okay, so we've got a much more realistic movement, and the sort of variations in speed here, where it suddenly goes fast and then slow, that's to do with my motions when Motion Sketch was on. So I'm using a trackpad, so I was having to lift my finger and move it, and lift my finger and move it. So I had a kind of jerky motion. If you can do your Motion Sketch motion in one smooth motion with the same level of acceleration, you'll get a much better result. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you next time.